Good morning. Good morning. I am using the JLab Epic Cam for the live show today. At least for part of it, I have a couple other webcams I might be testing into, but that is what we're talking about today. Some webcams and some comparisons there. But let's bring in the folks from Amazon and continue the show. Good morning. Good morning to everybody in Amazon land as well. I am using the JLab Epic Cam web camera for the beginning of my show here, and we're going to be testing that out a little bit, covering some of the features. I have some things to tell you about it. I'm also using the Fi-Fine microphone here. We're going to put that on a stand in just a couple of seconds here. But welcome to the show. I'm Ryan. I talk a lot about remote work gear and stuff like that. So if you have questions on remote work gear, please let me know. And if I'm not talking about it today, I think I'm talking quite a bit about webcams. And I guess there's a set of earbuds in here as well. But there's some things in there. If you've got questions on other stuff remote work related, feel free to ask it. I can pull other products into my Amazon carousel or share links out to other platforms to any of the other products, or just answer some questions that you have. So good morning, folks. I do think I have a question of the day to share. So let me get this typed up. Trying to get this question typed up here. Let's show that. Did you know that it was the first day of the Amazon's big spring sale? This, I believe, is a new thing this year that Amazon is doing. I'm going to try to bring up a screen, bring up my Amazon live stream on one of the other screens. And I see Dano is here. Hi, Ryan. Happy Wednesday. Dano, I went horizontal instead of vertical on Wednesday again today. I wasn't sure what I thought about the vertical. Actually, YouTube liked the vertical. It showed my video to a few more people, but I decided not to do it today. So there's my question of the day. Did you know it was the Amazon's big spring sale? Which it was kind of fun that it's Amazon's big spring sale, but I don't know what specific products or things are really on big sales today. I was looking at some things and kind of trying that out. But before I do that, I'm going to set up my microphone here. I'm going to put it on a tripod so that I can have it a little bit higher up. And I know Steve on Monday was asking about this, and if we can attach the Fi-Fine microphone, the Fi-Fine gaming PC microphone, we can attach it to a tripod or a boom arm or something. And the answer is yes, you can, and I will show you how to do that right here. So evidently I have to get some things here. All right. No, I'm dropping things in the office. All right. I'm going to work on setting up my tripod here, getting the bottom legs out. And then I'm going to mount the microphone right on the stand. I do have to take off this portion to get it to work. Hey, Dano, have you got to try out your new Panasonic Arc 5 shaver yet? Is it any good? Are you liking it? Okay, here's what we need to do. This is the little shoe for my tripod. On my microphone, you can twist off the base. It comes off. And then on the bottom of the base, there are two separate size threads. Right on the outside, there's 5/8 inch threads. A little farther in are 3/8 inch threads. So depending on what you need, if you have 3/8, there's got to be a little bit of an extension to get it farther in. But my tripod connects with 1/4 inch. So I need an adapter. The 5/8, I have a 5/8 adapter that I can screw into the bottom of my microphone here. And then I can attach the microphone to the shoe here, slide it in, and there we go. Hopefully my audio voice sounds a little bit better now. I might play around with different, I don't know. Here's the microphone. I may mess around with that, or I might just let it. I think it's rotating through some different colors right there. Or maybe it's staying the same. I don't know. It's got a whole bunch of different settings on the microphone. And if you just press the button, the center button on the bottom, enough times, it switches between different things on the microphone and different color patterns. It has solid color patterns. It has two-tone color patterns. It has a breathing color pattern. So it like gets brighter and dimmer and brighter and dimmer. And then it has just a rotate through a whole bunch of different color patterns. There's a lot going on in there. All right, Dano said I used it yesterday for the second time. I think it will take a little time for me to get used to it. Not as close of a shave as using a manual blade shaver, but I do like the flexibility of it and the side trimmer. It's been a while since I've shaved with a straight edge, but yeah. So Dano, when you shave, it has nothing to do with the microphone here. When you shave with a razor, a straight razor, like a blade, do you shave down and up or just one direction or the other? Because I noticed when I just shave down, the Braun and the Panasonic, well, I think the Braun gets slightly closer, but the Panasonic gets really, really, yes, you go up and down. Yeah, that's why when I go up, when I shave up and pull the blade up, it gets really close. And I've never had a electric razor get that close. But when I just shave down, which is how I usually did when I shaved with the blade, I think the Panasonic and the Braun get very, very close to shaving down. Maybe the Braun gets just as good as shaving down. But yeah, when you shave up with the blade, the electric ones aren't going to get quite that close. But I like the Panasonic R5. I think it's comfortable to shave with. It is also one of those things when you switch to an electric razor, it does take some time to get used to it. So you have to, it takes your skin a little bit of time to adjust to using an electric shaver. But there you have it. All right. Back to my JLab Epic Cam USB HD webcam here. So here's the box. The JLab Epic Cam. Thanks to JLab for sending a bunch of this stuff over here for me to try out. It is a 2K webcam. Yes, it's a 2K webcam. As far as I know, I didn't find any software inside the JLab doesn't have any software, but for the settings on the camera for the webcam, there are buttons right on top of the web camera. And here I can switch over to a different webcam and give you guys the lowdown on this. So let me switch to the MX Brio. See, I have an issue with the MX Brio, but we'll get back to that in a second. Here we're going back to the Anker C302, but I wanted to show you the top of the Epic Cam. Oh, I got all my Got all my cords behind there running together. So here is the top of the Epic web camera, and it has a brightness button and a and a I don't know, crop. What do they call that? How big you want your screen. So when you press it, it zooms in. A zoom. I think that's the word that I was looking for. Sometimes those words are so hard. So those are the two buttons on the top, and I'm going to switch back over to that camera and give that a try. But you do notice that all the cameras, they all look just a little bit different. So this is sort of the default mode on the Epic Cam. And there we go. It's got to focus itself there. Dano says, I have a heavy beard, so I never seem to keep a smooth shave very long. Yeah, if you got a heavy beard, it's hard to keep that smooth shave. So Dano, are you one of those people that you can shave in the morning and then you've got a 5 o'clock shadow? I'm one of those people I can shave in the morning and the next day at 5 o'clock, I will have a 5 o'clock shadow. So mine just doesn't grow very fast. Like right now, it's probably been at least 2, maybe 3 days since I've shaved. And from the camera here, you can't hardly tell really. If I get really close, you can see, but I don't have a real big, thick beard here. All right, let's try a couple of different settings on the Epic Cam. I'm going to hit the zoom button. See, it can zoom in a little bit closer. I think the next zoom will take me out. Yeah, so that's sort of the full screen zoom. There's your second setting. It zooms in a little bit closer. There is your third setting, zoom, and then I think one more. There. It's kind of sensitive on that touch of whether or not that works or not. Dano says, yes, I have a 5 o'clock shadow the same day after shaving in the morning. I'm sorry, Dano, to hear that, because it just creates a lot of maintenance for you to keep up with your shaving in that case. So that is the zoom on the Epic Cam. Now the brightness. So you can see that changed the brightness. It makes me look a little whiter, more glowing here. The TV behind me got a little blurry. Let me try the button again. That made it even worse. And there we are back to the original settings. So there's a couple different brightness settings on the JLab Epic Cam. I actually think this looks pretty good in sort of the default, not too bright brightness settings here. I think the JLab Epic Cam looks pretty good. It's on a real good sale today too at $69.99. So if you're interested in picking up a webcam, there's the JLab Epic Cam. Now I wanted to try a couple of the other cameras, and I'm gonna try something a little bit different here. This is gonna be fun. I am gonna open up the Logitech G Hub software. We're gonna try this. I'm gonna share out my screen, and we're gonna share out the Logitech G Hub software, and I'm gonna go into the MX Brio. And so now you're gonna get to be able to see the difference between the two web cameras. So the live version of me is over on the side. I guess the other one is still live of me as well, but it's inside the Logitech Brio software. My problem with the MX Brio software so far is it doesn't keep my field of view saved to where it is. So you can see it says I'm at 65%, but the camera is not there. So I got to click 90, then I got to click 78, and you'll notice it zooms me in a little closer, and 65 is even closer. And so that's where I like it. But now you can see the difference. So when you're looking at the screen, the little bit bigger picture of myself is the Logitech MX Brio web camera. Yeah, so that is the Logitech MX Brio web camera, and the smaller screen is the JLab Epic Cam. So that's sort of the difference. Price difference is pretty significant. The Logitech MX Brio is roughly $199.99 is the price today. The JLab Epic Cam over there is $69.99. So a little bit of the difference. The MX Brio does allow you to do 4K video with it as well. I have not tried out the 4K. I don't even think my computer will support me filming in 4K. I tried it yesterday and it wouldn't let me film anything in 4K. But that is sort of the differences between some of those two cameras. Now I might switch over my show temporarily to a different camera. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to pause and ask another question. Dano, have you seen any really good big spring sales from Amazon? Because I checked yesterday to see some of the things that were on sale, and today the prices kind of look the same. Like the same things look like they were on sale. So I was curious if you found anything that you thought really was a great deal today. All right, now I think I'm going to go out of that software and I'm going to take myself back into the MX Brio web camera. See, even when I went in the software, I changed the settings, I came back out, and my web camera is still the large field of view. I'm having troubles getting Logitech MX Brio to save that field of view because I think this is too big. You get too much of the blank wall over here, and I don't necessarily care that you see this wall over here with my Echo Show 15 on the wall. But I don't know. I don't know how to get that to save and to stay there. So I've had a little bit of troubles with that. Dano says, I don't know anything. I don't know if anything is different, but made me tired of shaving, and COVID got me used to not shaving every day. So I tend to shave once or twice a week. That kind of makes sense. Well, you don't have to shave as often anymore. Shaving, it just takes time to shave. It does, and it's kind of inconvenience. Dano said, look at the colors on the shelves behind you. They look different between the two cameras. All right, let's bring this back up again because I didn't do that. So let's switch. I'm going to get my camera back on the Epic Cam, and then I'm going to bring up, not that. Click the wrong button. Logitech G Hub. And then let's present and share the screen out here again. I do see that. I do see that in the MX Brio right back here. It's a little bit more blue whitish, maybe I would say. And in the Epic Cam, it almost looks purplish back there. So that's an interesting take there. I don't know. I maybe like the bluish light white better. What color is it supposed to be? It's probably supposed to be bluish light white back there. Well, that's an interesting thing to look at. So if you just stop by or you join in, I did see Flores. Flores just has a question, but if you're just tuning in, the little bit larger video is the MX Brio. The video on the side over there is the JLab Epic Cam. Flores says, I've heard using olive oil helps to shave. Have you ever tried that? No, I have never tried olive oil to shave. I'm not even sure I would recommend that. But that was a question from Flores Movies. This is what I would say, though, with a lot of the electric shavers, the Braun and the Panasonic Arc 5. I don't even have any shavers in the carousel today, but that's okay. You can use them with shave gel, and that is a great choice. So that's maybe something to try, Dano, is try to get some shave gel. I recommend the Nivea shave gel, and you can do that in the shower. So you can put on that shave gel while you're in the shower, and you can shave with your razor in the shower. It's kind of cool. Sometimes it's better. You'll have to experiment with that to see whether or not your face likes to shave better when it's fully wet, like after you've gotten in the shower. Sometimes I'll just, lather my face up before I get in. I'll just stand in the shower and shave my face off and then turn on the water and rinse everything off that way. But there's different ways you can do that. But shave gel with the electric shavers does actually do a pretty good job. So that's a nice little tip there. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in, Flores Movies. Thanks for being here. So there's comparisons between a couple of the different webcams. Dano says one looks blue and one looks purple. Yes, that is true. I haven't noticed any great sales for spring. Maybe it's on clothing, but usually don't shop much for clothing on Amazon. Yeah, and I was kind of feeling the same way about the whole sales today. So I'm going to try something here. I have no idea if my computer even supports this. So if I lose power here and the video stream drops, I apologize to everyone out there. But I have 3 web cameras set up, and I'm going to see if I can share them all. So let me try this. I got to shrink this one down. Then I need to bring in anchor work. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. We're going to shrink down anchor work. My computer is working overtime here. Well, I guess I don't know how we can do this, but here, that's maybe as good as anything I've got here today. Flores says, I just watched your review about the Bronze Series 7, and I was really doubting whether I should buy the 9 or the 7, but all the extra attachments on the 7 were so handy. I bought that one. This is hard to say between the Bronze Series 7 and the Bronze Series 5. And you know what? I'm going to take my screen right up to here for now because we're going to talk about shavers a little bit. I maybe need some more shaver video. Gina Capone is stopping by on Amazon to say hello. Hello, Gina. Thank you for stopping by. Gina, I've restarted my Amazon Live morning show. I'm now live Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at roughly 9 o'clock Central Time. Gina Capone is another Amazon Live streamer. I don't know how often she goes live anymore. Honestly, not a lot of people go live on Amazon anymore, but it is still a thing. But she's an Amazon influencer. She used to tune into the show frequently. A couple of years ago in the pandemic, there was just a lot more people that tuned into the shows a lot. How have you been, Miss Gina Capone? Gina says the Anker work doesn't have the best color. And so, see, this is different. But I want to talk about Floris's shaver question. The Braun Series 7 versus the Braun Series 9. I don't have a really thick beard. And the Braun Series 7 is probably every bit as much of a shaver I would need. It gets you a very, very close shave. And the Series 7, depending on which accessory set you can get a bunch of trimmers with it. I've got a Series 7 that came with a beard trimmer, a body groomer, a stubble trimmer, maybe even came with it. And the regular shaver. I have a bunch. So depending on the accessories you get, yeah. The Braun Series 9, though, it's double the price, sometimes more than double the price of the Braun Series 7. It is in a class of its own as far as shavers are concerned. Not everybody needs it. And Dano, this is one of the things, Dano, that I kind of wish, like, if we weren't just state neighbors, if we were like next door neighbors, I'd let you try one of my Braun Series 9 Pros, because I don't have that big, thick beard that grows really fast, so I can't really test for that. But yeah, I'd be curious to let you try it out and see what the difference is between the Braun Series 9 and the Panasonic Arc 5. But that is my thought. So Flores, you probably did a great choice with the Series 7. It gives you a really close shave. The Series 7 also works really well with shave gel because it's a wet dry one as well. Flores, did you get the Braun Series 7 with the turbo button on it? Yeah, because there's the older Series 7s didn't have a turbo button. The newer ones that came out just this year do have a turbo button. All right. Now I got to share my screens out again, so everybody can see all the different webcams that I have going on here. So right in the middle of the screen is my Anker C302 web camera. And as you can look out, you can kind of see the colors. It actually, for my live streams and what I do on live streams, it provides more light in the whole room. I think it makes it better for some of my demos and things like that. So the Anker C302 is like that, but it doesn't dim everything down and make it quite as dark. Over on that side over there in the smaller box, the smaller little box over there, that one is the JLab Epic Cam. So if you're interested in that one, I think the colors on that are pretty good as well. It does a better job of making it sort of dark in the room, which can be some people, especially the gamer streamers, kind of like that sort of darker look, dark room in, dark stream. I don't know. They kind of like that. Flores, I saw your comment and I just laughed, but let me finish. Give me a minute here and I will get back to that comment. All right. So that's the JLab Epic Cam. The one on the far side over that direction, on that side of the screen, that is the Logitech MX Brio, which is Logitech's newest web camera. It just came out a couple weeks ago, maybe even like a week ago. But it's sort of their new top-end flagship web camera there. I think it's got a really good picture, to be honest, but the software on it is so new. The software doesn't even totally work fantastic yet. So it's having trouble saving. I wanted it to zoom in a little bit closer on my face, but I can't seem to get it to zoom in. Let me try it. There you go. Now it is zoomed in. So now it's zoomed in a little bit and you're getting close field of view on all three of these cameras. This is actually kind of a pretty good view of how the different cameras work. So if you're interested in what the three cameras work, the smaller screen over there, that is the JLab, I keep forgetting the name, the JLab Epic Cam. The one in the middle is the AnkerWorks C302. The one over on that side is the Logitech MX Brio. So there you go. Have a look at which ones of those you like. All right. I'm going to get back to Floris's question here and the Amazon comments. I'm going to close out some of those screens. There's my desktop background. My son took that picture. Kind of cool, huh? All right. I got to add some shavers into the carousel because Floris is asking about these. If you're on Amazon.com/live, Amazon.com/live, you can find me there. And if you're on Amazon, you'll see the products I'm talking about and highlighting underneath the carousel. Gina, I do see you have some comments out here, but I'm trying to catch up with them. All right. I'm trying to add some of these shavers in here. So just be patient, folks. Thank you for your patience. Your flight will be departing soon. I'm trying to fill up this dead air with some great talk. Now I forgot what I was looking for. This is what happens when I get distracted on too many different things. All right. Let me go talk about these shavers yet. So Floris's comment out here was turbo button. What's that? I have not heard about that before. Does it shave your whole face off? No, it doesn't shave your face off. So here's the Braun Series 7 and the Braun Series 5 talk for right now. Hold on. I'm going to go back. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments coming in out here. I'm 7 minutes behind on Gina Capone saying, Cheryl and I are going live tomorrow at 9 p.m. actually. Well, if I'm around, that'd be 9 p.m. Eastern, so that'd be 8 my time. Maybe I'll try to stop by, Gina, and say hello. Dano said, I know, I just looked at a laptop. We got our son during October Prime Day, and then it's on sale for spring sale, and it's like $200 more than what we got it for on Prime Day. I didn't expect to be Prime Day level, but still seems nothing great about the sale on it. Yeah, I had similar thoughts to some of the things on Amazon. So maybe there's good sales. You just got to look a little bit harder. Like on Prime Day, there's just so many good ones. It's pretty easy to find them. And Dano says, I know I considered the Braun Series 9, but I just can't justify the price of it. I know the Braun Series 9 is expensive. Which one do you think of the cameras is more real life accuracy? You know what? Dano says, I like the darker look. A lot of people like the darker look. I actually think the Logitech MX Brio is probably the closest one to what it really looks like in my office. But I can't seem to keep it at the right zoom in level. So I'm going to stay on the Epic Cam for today. All right, here's the thing on the shavers, the Brauns. So let me go grab my shaver boxes. Floris, I'm going to answer this. So in 2024, Braun came out with new shavers. They came out with new versions of their Series 5 and their Series 7. And I think they maybe even just a week or two ago came out with new Series 8s. So the Series 5s, they have a 5100 series now. They used to be like 5018. Now they came out with new ones that are 5118. So 5100 series. So the Series 5s, and those include a turbo button on them. And let me see if I can find those. Actually, I'll go to the Series 7s. The Series 7 shavers, they are 7185 is the one I have in the carousel versus the 7085. And the Series 7100s have a turbo button and a gentle button. So here we go. Let me see if I can find them for you. And I can tell you what the difference is in the buttons here. So the previous version, the 7000 series shavers. Oh, I got the wrong shaving head on top of here. That's easy to pop off. See, the 7100 I have, or yeah, the 7185 comes with this. This is a beard stubble trimmer. If you just like a little bit of stubble on your face, this actually works really well for that. I used it a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Joanna says, hey, heads up, YouTube wouldn't let me chat. Sorry about that, Joanna. Gave you a thumbs up though. Well, thank you for that. I got to put the correct shaver head. I got my box here, and somewhere in here is my regular shave head. I'm a little confused now where my shaver head is. How do you lose the whole shaver head? I'm a little concerned here. Oh, it was in this case. There we go. That's the one downfall with the Braun Series 7 is the attachments for it. You got to take them all off and then they get lost. But here's what it looks like, and I'll turn it on. Right now, you saw two lights come on there, and your previous Series 7 just had one button right here to turn it on and off. Now there is a second little button right under there. And that allows you to turn, if you press that button, it's now in turbo mode. Press it again, now it's in gentle mode. And you press it again, that's in normal mode. And the only difference I can find out on this is the previous 7000 series shavers had a maximum speed of 24,000 cutting actions per minute. Now with the turbo mode, you can go to 25,500 cutting actions per minute. But I couldn't find anywhere what are the cutting actions per minute for the gentle mode and the standard mode or the normal mode on the shaver. So what I think they did is I think they lowered the normal mode speed just a little bit, added an extra gentle mode that has less cutting actions per minute under that, and then added the new higher turbo mode, which is an increase in cutting actions per minute. I would say the 25,500 cutting actions per minute does allow you to shave a little bit faster. I've done a shaver review, Flores, and maybe I can send out a link to this because it's on a different YouTube channel. I started a separate shaver channel called Shaver Dude, and I'll maybe share out a link after the show to my comparison of the 7,000 versus the 7,100 shavers. Maybe, I mean, might make you want to return the one you had or not. I don't know. I think if you're buying a new one in 2024, I would suggest getting the new Braun Series 7, but they aren't on sale today. So it has that. All right. That's the Braun Series 7 shaver. Let me see if I can find a previous. The Braun Series 7 7020. I'll see if I can find that one. I did. See, I've just got all the shavers here. Didn't know I was going to talk about shavers today. My previous Braun Series 7 is out of power. So I'm going to charge that. But I just noticed my previous Braun Series 7 does have an extra button right down here. I have no idea what it's for. I've had it for 2 years. Didn't know that button was there. But I'm going to charge it up. Exciting stuff. Guess there's even more I can still learn about my shavers. All right. Whew. I got to plug in a shaver to charge. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by the show, everyone who is here. I'm Ryan. I talk a lot about remote work gear, but evidently I have quite extensive knowledge on shavers. So I do talk about shavers a lot as well. Men's electric shavers, that is. One of the strange things in life, I somehow became an expert on men's electric shavers. So if you got questions, let me know. I got to charge up the Braun Series 7 here. I'm going to let that charge for a little bit. 2 other shavers I threw in my carousel. Is the Panasonic Arc 5, which is on sale today, $169.99 over on Amazon. I'm a real big fan of the Panasonic Arc 5 shaver. It's got 5 shaver heads on it. So that's the one problem I've noticed with the JLab Epic Cam is it doesn't. There. It's autofocus when you hold things up to the camera seems to take just a little bit longer in the darker settings than it does in the lighter room. Because see, when I hold up the shaver, it's not there yet. See, it doesn't always want to focus on the shave head. There it goes. And then it doesn't want to refocus back on me. See, there it goes. Came back, changed the lighting a little bit. It's a little bit slower on changing those. So that was a little bit on the webcam. I'm using the JLab Epic Cam right there. I'm using that for most of the show today. Dano says, looks like there's some okay sales on Samsung and Scepter monitors. I may have to check those out. And the Braun Series 9 Pro, it's not on sale today. It sits at $379 for a price. So it's kind of spendy, which is why everybody doesn't go with the Braun Series 9 Pro. All right. I kind of like having the microphone on a tripod stand in front of me. Makes me feel very performer-like. Feel like I could be a comedian if I just knew some jokes. Yes. All right. Whew. Anyhow, that kind of wraps up what I want to talk about. I'm gonna wait a second or a minute or two to see if I can get a little charge into that Braun Series 7 shaver. Tyler Childress from Facebook stopped by and says, please, a couple of jokes. You know, I always have this, like, where I'm sitting at home and I'm like, I think it's something funny, and I'm like, that really, if I ever get stuck in a stand-up comedian spot, like, I think I could entertain the crowd for 30 seconds with this joke. But then now when it comes time to do it, I don't remember what that joke is. I don't. And it's terrible. So I'm gonna write some jokes. I'm gonna start writing down my jokes and try my hand at some stand-up comedy on my live stream. Well, not really, but I'm gonna save a joke or two so that if I need to fill in a joke, I can be ready for it. I don't know. Like I had one the other day and I was like, this is really funny. Oh, this isn't a joke. Uh yeah, but I do have stories on some other stuff. Okay. Are you still here, Tyler? Because I'll tell a funny story if you're still here. Dano is over there. What is the sun's pet? Here, we got a joke. What is the sun's pet? I don't know. I have no idea. Tyler is still here. A hot dog. Oh, that's kind of funny. That was pretty good. All right. So here's my story. And I feel like a comedian could make this into a bit, but I'm not a comedian, so you just get the story. Okay. So I go for a walk. And while we're telling the story, in case we're tying this into anything else that's going on, I'm using the JLab Epic Cam right now. So, and the microphone I'm using is I'm actually going to highlight this, the Fifine gaming PC microphone. All right. So I go for a walk just about every day. And I started this a few years ago when I discovered I have a problem with my back. I have some degenerative disc in the lower part of my back. And so walking every day just helps that appear to feel better. So I go for a walk every day. Sometimes one of my kids comes with me. Sometimes I just go by myself. But the other day I went out for a walk. And this is a scenario where this is a question of what should you do in this situation? So we're crossing one of the streets in my neighborhood, kind of the back of my neighborhood, not a real busy street or something. We get like halfway across the street. There's a very large kitchen knife laying on the street. It was one of those big 12-inch blades. It's the knife that you use to carve your Thanksgiving turkey. Very big knife laying on the middle of the road. I was like, what do I do with this? There's a lot of kids that live in my neighborhood. I'm not too far from a school. And so I was like, I should at least pick this up and throw this in the garbage. So I pick up this knife and I'm like, this is a great idea. I'll just take it and throw it away at home. So I'm now carrying this knife, but I continue on my walk. And like a half a block later, my walk takes me out to sort of a main road, a little bit main, busier street. And so I'm walking along the sidewalk on this road. And now I realize I'm carrying a 12-inch knife in my hand right along this busy road. And I realize I'm getting closer to, we have a public library that was like 2 blocks in front of me. And all of a sudden now I'm like, well, I'm carrying this really large knife and I'm headed to the library. This just sounds like a bad idea. And so I didn't know what to do. So I turned and I just went home. Like I took the next turn to get to my house and I just went home and threw away the knife. But the entire point of the story is, I thought I was going to end up on the news because the crazy guy spotted near local library, and right on the other side of the library is a school. It was after school hours, but not much. It was like 4 PM. So school was out, but there probably was still some kids running around. Anyhow, I thought I was going to end up on the evening news because I was this creepy guy with a knife, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do in this scenario. I didn't want to leave the knife in the road because I thought it was going to stick into somebody's tire and they're going to have a tire. I didn't want to leave it there because there's a lot of kids in my neighborhood and I wasn't really sure I wanted a bunch of kids playing around with that big knife. I mean, that seems like it could go bad. Anyhow, once I was done and I threw it away and everything was fine, but I was like, I don't really know what the appropriate choice was in that situation. I maybe should have just got the knife and then I thought, well, maybe I wanted to go just throw it in like the nearest person's garbage can because there was a person across the street that had a garbage can. But I was like, I don't want to like take a gigantic knife and start throwing it into somebody else's garbage can because that also looks suspicious. Yes. Did I at least recycle? No, I was so creeped out about the whole situation. I just threw it in my garbage. Can you recycle a knife? I don't know how you do that. Anyhow, Dano says, OMG, there's a man walking in our neighborhood with a large. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. And I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this. You know, all of a sudden I thought I became the suspect of a crime, and it was an uncomfortable situation. I think I did the right thing by disposing of the knife and getting it out of the way, but I didn't know what to do. And after I picked it up to like take it, then I started realizing I have now got myself in a strange situation. Yes, Tyler Ryan knife Swanstrom. So there's my story. I'm sorry, that's not a comedy bit, but that's why I said like I think someone who's a comedian could take that story and make that funny. But I don't know that I have that gift, or I've not worked on that gift well enough. Rome knows. Rome knows text says, hello everyone. Rome is another live streamer. Thanks for stopping by, Rome. Rome says, hope you have a great stream. In Texas, no one would look twice. Well, that's true. And maybe they wouldn't. And I think like in front of my house, it wouldn't have mattered. I think what was more concerning is like walking right by the front of the library and right by the front of a school. Seemed like a bad idea. Anyhow, hopefully telling the story online, I didn't get myself into any trouble. I didn't really cause any trouble. I didn't really do anything wrong. I actually picked up litter and took care of it. But the whole situation was slightly uncomfortable for me. Dano says the better question is, how did it get there? I also thought about that. This was my best guess. Somebody was taking some food in their car and they put the knife on top of their car so they could load up whatever food they had and forgot they left it on their car. And when they came around the corner, and you know, sometimes when you go around a corner, there's little bumps, it slid off around the corner. That was my guess. And so it kind of ended up in that little intersection there. I don't know, but somebody lost a big kitchen knife, and I tried not to cause too much trouble with it. So there's my story for the day. Sorry, that's not a funny story, but my question for everybody else is, what would you have done in this situation? Would you have picked up the knife? Would you have just walked by and left it? I didn't know. I think leaving it there was a bad choice as well. So I don't know. What was I supposed to do there? Oh, the last thing I haven't talked about in my carousel today. Because, yeah. I maybe got to go find the box for it. So hold on. The JLab JBuds active noise canceling earbuds. Again, thanks to JLab for sending some of these over. I tested these out on my walk yesterday. Yesterday was not the walk where I found a knife, but my son was actually with me on the walk where we found my knife. And so I kind of felt bad for him because I thought, you know, he's somehow I tied him into this thing, but nothing happened. Rome says, I agree. Kids could have found it. So I did the right thing. It's one of those situations where it can get awkward. It ended up totally fine, but yeah. All right. JLab's active noise canceling earbuds. There you got those. So they are in here. They do have touch sensitivity on them. If you hold down on the left-hand side, that changes between active noise canceling on, active noise canceling off, and I can't remember the other one that's in there. The one where it lets sound from outside come in so that you can hear other people, you can hear cars driving by or your neighbors talking to you, something like that. Plus, if you just tap on either side, it turns the volume up or down. If you get a phone call, you can tap once and it answers it, double tap and it hangs up. They're kind of cool what you can do with them. I thought they provided pretty good sound on them, but more testing on these to come in the near future. I might try to make some video reviews on them as well. But those are from JLab. And yes, JLab was kind enough to send me a bunch of things to try out. So it's been kind of fun trying out a few of their products. You'll see even more in the coming days and weeks. Daniel says, OMG, now there is a big man with a big knife holding a kid hostage with it. That's what I would have thought of if I exactly. I think that was a scenario where somebody calls the cops on you, and it probably wouldn't have been much of an issue if they would have showed up. I just didn't want that scenario to happen. So that's why all of a sudden I was like, this just looks bad. I'm going home. But yeah. Anyhow, so there's a scenario of if you ever get to a group of people and they're like, who's got a topic to discuss? There you go. Bring up that story and ask people, what would you do in this situation? Because you don't want to leave it, but you don't really want to pick it up. And I didn't want to like go knock on a door of somebody's house and be like, yeah, I got this gigantic knife. Can I throw it in your garbage? That doesn't sound suspicious at all. All right, that sounds totally suspicious. Anyhow, enough on the knife topic. We're gonna get off that. But that's my story for the week. Anyhow, I think I'm going to end the show here pretty soon. And Daniel says, I think that would be a funny story for a comedy stand-up. It would. It's one of those stories that doesn't happen to everybody, but most all of us can kind of relate to that. And somebody that's got a few good punchlines in there can turn that into a funny little bit. But maybe I need to take a stand-up comedy class and figure out how to do that. But yes. All right. I think that's where I'm going to end the show for today. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. I consider it a huge honor that I get to come out here live and chit chat with all of you and talk about and demo some products and help you save some money on your products. So thank you so much for all of that. Have a fantastic day. I'll be back on Friday. Yes, Friday. Friday, I will be back to talk about some more deals and wrap up sort of my web camera comparisons. I'm probably going to bring up the 3 web camera view again because I actually thought that was pretty nice. I liked it. Anyhow, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to end the show over on Amazon, and then I will end it on Facebook and YouTube as well. Hold on, my phone is buzzing. But don't need to answer it right now. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and maybe I will see you on Friday. Daniel says, bye, Ryan. Have a good day, and hope you don't find any strange objects on your walk today. I hope not either. All right. Goodbye, Amazon. So Amazon is shuttling their way out. So Facebook and YouTube are still here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. I will be back on YouTube at least on Friday, but I won't be back on Facebook on Friday. I'll probably be back on LinkedIn on Friday. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.